Hey guys, today I want to talk about the Bruce Jenner interview, only because it's important to talk about, and I really want to make this video since Friday. So, of course, once again, there's construction outside my window, and there will be for the next like 35 years, so I'm going to be talking fast, and I'm going to cut this video whenever there's noise, so we could just deal with not having the outside ruin this video. So let me just disclaimer this. I've watched the interview, I've watched Good Morning America, and I've watched some interviews with other trans people, and for this video I'm actually going to be using the name Bruce, and I'll explain that why I'm using that later on, but I am also going to be using they and them pronouns to refer to Bruce, and female pronouns. The reason why I'm doing this is I know that during the interview Bruce said that it's better to use the familiar he and him pronouns, but I interpreted that as only during the interview. Because when I saw some interviews, Janet Mock and Laverne Cox were talking about Bruce, and they know Bruce well, and they were talking about how they just saw them, and they were using like they and them pronouns, and then some were using female pronouns in the conversation, so that's where I'm at with that. And also, I wouldn't want this video to be up later on in the future and I'm using male pronouns to refer to a trans woman. To me, that's like if somebody was misgendering me. So I just interpreted it as in the interview they wanted to be referred to as he and him, which can make sense so that people can slowly start to adapt themselves and like understand what trans is. So that's where we're at right now. And the reason why I'm using the name Bruce is if you have not seen the interview that I'm talking about. I didn't even like introduce this. Obviously, I'm going to be talking about that interview. In the interview, Diane Sawyer, which did a fantastic job in my opinion, asked, "Are you going to give me a name?" around the end of the interview. And Bruce just said no. And I like this because it was like, it's the only thing that the media hasn't taken from them, and they can keep their name as to themselves and not, you know, let the media have fiasco with it, which the media will the second they find out what the person's name is. So I like that. I think that's like, I respect that, and if they never want to say their name, don't, because the media is ridiculous. Honestly, don't go look at the comments. It's like the oldest proverb in the world. Don't look at the comments, but also don't watch TMZ, because I thought that after the interview and after like just people talking about how horrible the media has been, that maybe TMZ would calm the fuck down. They've like gotten worse. Like, I don't get it. Like, maybe I saw a small clip from before the interview. I don't know. It's rude. TMZ is like literally a piece of shit. I will never watch their show or go on their website ever again, because it's abuse. It's harassment, what they're doing, and it's actually disgusting. And this is why people in the trans community kill themselves, because people are so mean to us and we're just humans. So let's talk about the interview a little bit. I was skeptical that this interview was going to be on Diane Sawyer, obviously on Diane Sawyer, on 2020 with Diane Sawyer. Imagine if it wasn't Diane Sawyer. If you watch the interview, I swear to God, every time it came back from a commercial, it would be like, "And once again with Diane Sawyer." Like, we get it. Imagine if it wasn't her and I'm just saying her name. I'm pretty sure it was Diane Sawyer. I was extremely skeptical because usually when there's interviews of trans people are talking, but it's like we don't have control over our own narrative and our own life story. It's like the interviewer interrupts the person when they talk and asks some really inappropriate questions. And so I went into that interview. Obviously, everyone's speculating. Nobody knew for sure if Bruce was trans or not. And I mean, I really just wanted to watch it just so I could see what was going on. I am beyond happy. I don't even have words for it to describe how happy I am that this interview was on TV. Diane Sawyer was extremely respectful. I really liked that she would ask some questions that you could tell that she maybe knew the answer to, but she was asking them because she knew that the viewers who don't understand anything about trans are asking these questions, or these are myths that people just don't understand that they're myths and that they're stereotypes and that they're fake. One example is when Diane was asking about sexuality and sexual orientation, and she was like, "Are you gay?" And Bruce was like laughing, like, "I'm not gay," because that's one of the biggest stereotypes. It's gay men want to be women, right? So that's trans women are all gay men just stuck in. It's not true. And I really, really liked that this like I feel like so emotional talking about this, and it's like really hard to get all the words out, but it's amazing that it's a different narrative, because a lot of the media show trans people, like example Chaz Bono, who was this, like super butch lesbian before and then transitioned to male, and the media was like, oh, obviously we knew that was coming, and said some really inappropriate things, and they usually go with that narrative, right? Oh, you were a tomboy, so that's why you're trans. I really like this interview because Bruce was a manly man. They were in the Olympics, and even during Good Morning America, their first wife was on there and said, like, it took me by shock. There was never anything feminine about them, and I think that's what's really awesome, is that they're showing something on TV that's different, that all of us in the trans community and allies have known for a long time, that you can be trans. It doesn't matter what you look like or how you feel, if you feel feminine or masculine, or if you portray that femininity or masculinity. It doesn't matter if you inside know that you're supposed to be female or male. That's it, and I really liked that they showed that. To me, this interview was actually groundbreaking. Let me throw in some stats at you that I saw on Good Morning America, and I was watching E-Talk or something like that, or it was on CTV News in Montreal, and I was like, why is it on? But then I realized because it was the Olympics in 1976, which were in Montreal, which is when they won the decathlon, which is like 10 events, which is just insane. I didn't even, whatever. 17 million people watched the interview, which is a lot. And I also saw some other things, that it is the most watched interview on 2020 since, for over 15 years. I think that it was, oh my God, Michael Jackson and Elvis's daughter or something had 60 million views of their interview on 2020, and then Monica Lewinsky had like 57 million views. So I know 17 million doesn't compare to that, but still 17 million people now know a trans person. And during the interview also, they said, I think it was 80% of Americans, I don't know where they're getting these statistics from, I would love to see that research, but no, 80% of Americans know at least one gay person, and I think it said something crazy, oh my God, I think this is like a bad statistic, but maybe like 4%? Should have written that down, but 4% know a trans person. Probably even less than that. So now 17 million more people know somebody who's trans. Nick, obviously you don't know them personally, but honestly that interview was so emotional, and I don't know, I feel like it was like I know them personally, like it's weird. So after the interview was done, I shared it all over my Facebook and told everybody to watch it. Honestly, like everybody needs to watch this interview right now. If you haven't seen it, I'm gonna post a link somewhere. I think if you're in America, you can watch it on ABC. And if you're, if you're on the website, and if you're not in America, I think you could just like change your Chrome browser to American browser and watch it there, whatever. I was watching an interview with, Janet Mock was talking to Laverne Cox, and something that they said really struck with me. They said, both of them were talking about how Bruce coming out, it's like our Ellen moment. And the second that, I think it was Janet Mock said that, the second that she said that, it just, everything made sense. And it's true, like yes, we've had other trans people come out in the past, Laverne Cox, Janet Mock, we have all of these amazing trans women who have come out and who are in the spotlight. I mean, like Orange is the New Black, like it's a huge show, everyone loves it, everyone talks about it. And then Janet Mock and her book, and I mean, we have some really great, we have Carmen Carrera from RuPaul's Drag Race who came out and then now is like modeling, and who was like doing interviews, and oh my God, who was it? Katie Couric? I think it was Katie Couric asked her like a really inappropriate question, and then Laverne Cox was like, people are obsessed with trans bodies and surgery, and it objectifies trans people. And anyways, that's not the point. I'm like going all over the place with this video, and I honestly don't think it makes sense at all. I wish that I could remake it, but right now I'm just like on a rant, like a good rant about it, I guess. So yes, it's our Ellen moment. When Ellen came out, it was huge, and I can only imagine what it felt like back then to know, like, there's no gays on TV. No one's out. I mean, like, there was some gay characters, but they were either made fun of or whatever, and then Ellen comes out, and then she comes out in real life, and it's just there, and everything started from there. Like, there's a website after Ellen, like, everything that's happened after that come out. Ellen coming out, whatever. After that, it was just like a snowball effect. But still, trans people we've never really had our big moment, and I feel like this interview with Bruce and everything else that's happened in the last 2 or 3 years with like Laverne Cox and Janet Mock and all of these amazing trans people coming out into the spotlight, even like smaller, not like bigger scale, not like big scale like Laverne Cox, but like Aiden, who the picture went viral of him recreating the picture of Adam Levine naked, and how he is also #1 right now for being on the cover of Men's Health, which is amazing. And then we have Landon, who is a trans military, who's been on the news a whole bunch of times. Like all these people, like they don't have that much media coverage as, you know, the Bruce interview, but still all these small steps and this interview have created this Ellen moment that we have. So now we have this huge, like a trans moment for us, and people are talking about it, and that's what matters. Like, sure, people are talking negatively about it, but some of those people that were talking negatively about it before this interview maybe now realize that, oh, this is an actual human being. I'm a human being. Maybe I should treat this person with respect. Maybe I don't agree with what they do, but whatever, they're a person, that's it, and they're just gonna stop commenting. Just talking about it. Just recognizing that there are trans people out there who are suffering. This interview, like, it hurts to watch, and it's sad, but it's also really amazing because, I mean, you see Bruce's pain, and it's horrible to have to keep that in for so many years. I mean, they're 65 and they're coming out now, and having told, like, I think that they told their first wife in like 1976 or something. I'm getting like emotional, hold on. I'm just like, I'm feeling it again, and it's like, it hurts. But it also hurts in a good way, because it's almost like I never thought that this moment would come for us. Like, I knew it was gonna come eventually, but it's like I wasn't prepared for it to be like now. It makes me so happy, and I'm so overwhelmed with, I'm just so happy. During the interview, I think this was like a clip that wasn't shown in the interview, but it was on Good Morning America. Diane was talking about, good old Diane, was talking about the media and how Bruce might have given like the media hints there, here and there, like, oh, your face has changed and stuff like that. And Bruce literally just said, I mean, I gave them ammunition, but I was just trying to live with myself. And literally, like, I can't. Like, a person is trying to live their life, and the media is just ridiculous. Oh my god, this is gonna turn into like one of those like people need to know that there are trans people videos, so I'm just gonna like stop before I like start crying all over the place. But yeah, I think that this interview is monumentous for the trans community. There were almost 1 million tweets during the interview with hashtag Bruce Jenner interview. Come on, man, that's just, it's just like so overwhelming that people are talking about trans things in such big numbers. Like, it's amazing. Like, I knew that we were gonna get rights one day, or like not the rights, but like we were gonna be, I don't know how to explain this. Like, honestly, like I've been wanting to make this video for like 3 days, and I've been sitting on it, and then I watched the news and Good Morning America, and I just like wrote some notes and thought about what can I say about this, and I don't think I could get everything out in one video, and I know I'm gonna watch this later and say, oh my god, I missed all of these other things, but I'm just so happy that 2020 paid attention to trans people in a good way. There were segments on there about what gender identity is. They had other expert, Janet Mock was on there. They had people from GLAAD. They had somebody who runs the biggest, I think it's like the biggest trans baby children's center in like California or something like that. It was fantastic to see all these different faces talk about and explaining like what gender identity is, and the importance of respecting trans people's names and pronouns and stuff like that, so that Bruce didn't have to explain all of this, which is usually what happens. Trans people are turned into a trans 101 where they have to explain everything. In this interview, Diane just sat there, asked a question, and let Bruce talk. And then when Bruce was done, they had a small conversation, and it was really great. And I think that the media and other people who decide to interview people, even people who want to do research on trans people, learn from this interview. Literally, watch this interview over and over again and look at what they did. Obviously, there might have been some 1 or 2 problematic questions that were out there, but I think that all of those intentions were, there was no bad intentions in this interview, and I do think that some of those questions were asked so that the public who literally know nothing about trans people can understand somewhat and be like, oh, I would have asked that question, now I know that it's not cool to ask. Do you know what I mean? Okay, so this video is like 15 minutes of nothing. Just to like finish it off with some like good, like funny thing, there is a moment in the clip that made, I was watching it with my roommates and we were laughing so hard because Diane was like, I don't even like wearing makeup, and you want to wear makeup? I mean, you missed all of the good years of wearing like dresses and stuff like that. Now it's like the pantsuit years. And then Bruce was like laughing, like giving a look like whatever. But then I think, oh my god, Bruce was like, said something like, oh, but I mean, I could always wear, you know, black shoes, tight black pants, just a boring white blouse, which is exactly what Diane was wearing. And Diane's face was like, I'm not really doing it justice. There's a link on like Tumblr where there's the actual clip. I'll link it so that you can get it because I can't even do it justice. Anyway, so that's all I have to say after 15 minutes. I'm probably gonna make a part 2 of this video, but maybe more specific and not just me ranting about how I feel about this about this interview, which I loved. And honestly, it's 2 hours. Well, there's commercials, so whatever. An hour and 40 minutes. If you don't think that you have enough time to watch this, on it, just make it. Whatever, sit down in the bathroom and just watch it in the bathroom. I don't know why I said bathroom, that's so random. Whatever, sit in bed, just watch it, just listen to it, just do it, because it is 100% worth it. And even though I'm trans and I'm super out and I'm an advocate for trans rights and I'm an activist and I make videos, this interview, I feel like this interview actually changed something in me, and I feel like I see things differently. Maybe it's because I see that maybe society is going to see us differently, so I see myself differently. I don't know. Last thing that I wanted to show you that I'm holding in my hands is this shirt. I was going to wear it, but it doesn't really look good with my hair right now. I really wanted to contrast it with the white shirt, but I think that more people need to, so this shirt, this is what, can you see that yet? This is what trans looks like. And if you want a shirt like this, I'll just put up the link, but if everyone was wearing this shirt, you could see how diverse this community is and how there's not one person who is alike or has the same transition path. I feel like I'm like high or something from like all of this excitement from this interview and Good Morning America and all these people just talking about it. I mean, like some people are like transitioning to become a woman, whatever, just get over it. That's like the one thing that they're saying that's like horrible right now. And what I've seen, obviously I'm sure that there's media out there that's horrible, but yeah. Anyways, 20 minutes later, I hope you have a great week and watch the interview.